Good evening, Facebook land. This is Edward Leos, actually publisher of the Hotel Guide. We're actually in our 29th year, digital travel magazine, website, social media network, and now this is our very first THG travel podcast. I'm really excited to kind of get this thing launched as we go into our 29th year. I have a very special guest. She's actually part of the team, but at the same time, she is a wellness travel veteran. And I'm really excited about having her on, kind of talking a little bit about the growth of wellness travel here, not only in the United States, but globally as well. Maybe talk a little bit about pre-pandemic stuff, as well as where we're seeing some of the trends going in 2022 and beyond. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Andrea Dragosits. I wanted to make sure I got the name right, but let me get her on the screen here. And she should be popping in shortly. There she is.
Hi.
Hey, I'm happy to have you on the call. I am in Texas, and you are in where?
I
Right
have
now?
landed back in Canada just from coming in from Florida, and it's currently snowing here. Can't believe it. Snowing in
Oh,
April in
wow.
Canada. Hmm.
Yeah, I saw some of your videos and photos earlier, and then yesterday on Easter. Yeah, quite a difference from where you were. I'm sure we'll talk about where you were prior to Florida, but here in Texas, it was in the it's in sunny in the 80 degrees. I think I've been laying out at the pool, a few days last week as well. So the cool thing about this is we're able to kind of catch up with each other and talk a little bit about travel. So I know one of the big things that we've talked about is your background. I'd love for you to take a few moments, kind of get all of our listeners up to speed on your background and what you bring to the table, not only for the magazine, but for the for wellness travel and what it means to you.
Great. Well, I actually went to school for hospitality and tourism management. And then after university, I went really quickly working for a corporate company that specialized in luxury travel and concierge,
Mhm.
and worked with the company for 10 years. Started as a virtual concierge rep for a lot of celebrities and really high affluent clientele, and
Mhm.
ended up throughout those 10 years being the head recruiter for the company. I got very burnt out and went through corporate burnout at a young age,
Mhm.
and found myself researching where to go on a retreat. And about 8 years ago, retreats were really far and few between.
Yeah.
So I was researching where to go. I was really well versed in travel, been in the travel industry for many years. And after a yoga retreat to Costa Rica, I soon learned that I really needed to change up my lifestyle and just have a little bit more of a balanced approach, focusing on yoga and meditation and mindfulness. And that's really where I started to focus on what I really wanted to do. And I
Mhm.
founded Soul Journey Adventure, which is
Great.
my business. And it's essentially inspiring, guiding, and connecting other women and other individuals to wellness retreats, destinations, and just, uh, destinations that really
Mhm.
focus on wellness travel. And I'm
Sure.
so excited to talk about wellness travel because you're right. I've been one of the pioneers in this industry, and I absolutely love the industry. I'm so passionate about it.
No, when we connected, obviously we were social media friends first, and we've been admiring each other from afar, I guess each other's work and stuff like that, and now we're partnering with the Hotel Guide in addition to everything that you're doing with your company, which I'm really excited about because you bring such a vast knowledge with regards to wellness, tourism, and travel. Even prior to COVID, for me and the Hotel Guide, wellness and wellness travel has been one of our staples. In fact, we actually have a dedicated section that is in every edition, and so we're really excited about that expanding. And in fact, this last issue was a very one of our actually I think it was our biggest issue, our largest issue, and it was basically centered around wellness travel. And we had some great organizations we featured, which I know we'll talk a little bit about in a few minutes. But for those of the people who are like, hey, wellness travel, is that yoga? Is that meditation? Is that mindfulness? give me a little bit of background on what you see as wellness travel, and maybe how it's evolved a little bit.
Yes, it's definitely evolved, and I am so happy to be partnered with the Hotel Guide and share my expertise with wellness travel, and also, a lot of these connections I've made over the years in this industry. And it has evolved so much from,
Mhm.
8+ years ago. Really, the focus of wellness travel is to travel and go to a destination or on retreat where the overall well-being is the focus of the traveler. So that could include personal growth, some sort of transformation, but it
Mhm.
really is feeling better coming back from this type of travel experience. And that's in many different ways. So I believe that, wellness travel should encompass eating healthy,
Mhm.
being active, or even being still, exploring, maybe doing some adventuring. But there's so many different components to it. We, are seeing many different retreats, from spiritual retreats to fitness retreats, to surf retreats, to many different active lifestyle. I mean, really, there is so much diversity within wellness tourism, and witnessing and watching this grow and evolve over the years
Mhm.
has been incredible.
No, I agree with you on that. I know prior to COVID, it was already a multi-billion-dollar category, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get, the Hotel Guide involved in that. And then, it's my big assumption. Well, actually, it's not an assumption because I've seen it. And then talking to you on a daily basis, it seems like post-COVID, we're seeing a lot of resorts, a lot of destinations, a lot of places who are really talking about wellness travel and integrating mind, body, spirit in almost everything they do. Even what I would like to call mainstream resorts, and full service properties are like, hey, we've got now wellness floors, or we got wellness rooms. And I think, coming off of a pandemic where, a lot of people were plugged inside their homes in quarantine so many times, we're social creatures. So we're all about, hey, we're and have community and have that space. And so how are you seeing things post COVID, and how is that looking with wellness travel, for you?
Yeah, that gives a really good snapshot. Really, I mean, pre-COVID, wellness tourism was booming. It was so hard to keep up with the clientele, and even the many different offerings of retreats out there, as well as destinations.
Mhm.
We obviously saw a very standstill with the tourism industry, but many of us in the industry were really, staying strong and on calls constantly, and seeing how we can evolve and what the traveler is looking for. So a lot of the time during the pandemic, our travelers were at home, but they were doing many different wellness experiences virtually, and even at their own home, or more staycation. Now that we're in somewhat of a post-COVID, post-pandemic
Yeah.
period, I really, strongly believe that this industry is going to boom. I think
Mhm.
our destinations are getting themselves prepared for that if they haven't already. We're seeing a lot of hotel properties and destinations almost like nearly at 100% occupancy. And there's a lot of hotel chains and brands and destinations and retreats that are wanting to open up into this wellness get. So there's a lot of assistance needed there with marketing and promoting these properties that really want to get into this niche.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've received almost daily emails from properties who are sending me press releases and, hey, can we get a request for coverage on, our new addition to our property, our wellness side of things, or here's our spa. We're bringing in a culinary expert to come in and take you on a culinary experience as part of that. So I think when you're talking about, wellness is it's so much. And that's what's great about that category, if you will, with regards to how it impacts the world. And I love what you're saying. What are some of the trends that maybe you're seeing, going into 2022, the rest of the year, and maybe even the 2023, any hot spots, any places that you think are really standing out? Are you hearing, where people are kind of headed towards?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, there is a pent-up demand for travel.
Mhm.
Me being a Canadian, there's even much a demand for Canadian travelers to get out there. I know
Correct.
as well as for the American population as well. So um, really, I think the major focus is mental well-being and mental health. And so there's a lot of need for retreat type of
Mhm.
experiences. A lot of solo travel is continuing to be on the rise. People just really needing a break, sabbatical type experiences, being in nature,
Mhm.
focus on mindfulness and meditation. So a lot of spiritual retreats. I do believe that families are starting to come back together again, and there is a need for this strong family summer presence. I believe,
Mhm.
and I know our next edition is going to feature a lot of that
Yep.
summer travel with family. I think really people are also really wanting quick and easy. So if an itinerary is already laid out for them, and even like last minute type of experiences, they just, want to get back out there
Correct.
and get back into travel. So, but the number one focus I do believe is that they're feeling safe and comfortable, and their experience is going to be one of a healthy nature. So
Yeah, I'm seeing that same trend in the things that I'm getting. In fact, that's one of my key components for me personally as I'm looking at traveling. The experiential side of travel has always been at a high level for me, but I am looking at places that have those mindfulness, have that little bit of escape to it as well. Not just for myself, but for family as well. And so I think that's an important aspect for us as we move forward into to the next quarters and second half of 2022. So as we wind things up here, I know I kind of joke with you because I'm a publisher of a travel magazine, but you're like all over the world, experiencing places. What are some of your favorites? As we wrap this up, what are some of your favorites that you've been to?
Well, I absolutely love Costa Rica. I have spent almost 8 winters there now and love sending clients there and have helped many different people within that country. It has a large focus on wellness tourism. So Costa
Mhm.
Rica for sure has my heart. There's many different destinations in the US that I absolutely love. I just got back from Florida. I think we'll see a lot of travel in Florida, in California,
Mhm.
and Sedona, Arizona, but also to the likes of, Montana and in the mountains.
Yeah.
But really, Canada has some incredible wellness destinations. I was fortunate to travel around Canada in the last few years and have explored some of these incredible destinations. So really from BC to Ontario, even out in the East Coast. So Canada does have a lot to offer. But I also, I have a strong love for Europe.
Mhm.
And I haven't yet been to Africa, but I'm seeing a lot of trends there with
Yeah.
people really wanting to check that off their bucket list. They've been pent up and have been dreaming about travel, and they're really, have saved their money. So, seeing a destination like Africa, which would be a dream bucket list destination for me too.
Oh, correct. Yeah, that's on my list too. I've actually been asked there a couple of times through a nonprofit that we've partnered with in the past. And so, yeah, there's just a lot going on. I'm excited about our wellness travel. I'm excited about our hotel guide travel podcast. This was our first edition. We got a little bit of quirks here and there, but it is what it is. I appreciate you, Andrea, taking a few minutes of your time and sharing your wisdom and thoughts with regards to travel and tourism and how wellness travel is going to impact 2022 and beyond. And so I'm really excited about having you as part of the team. And then I'm looking forward to where we're going to be going into the rest of the year. So for those of you who don't know, follow us on, the website is thehotelguide.com. I think you see it scrolling down there on the screen. We're on the social media channels. You're talking about Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, I think just about everywhere where you can find us. So we look forward to our next session. We'll probably have one in a couple of weeks. We'll be interviewing a secret guest. We haven't decided who that's going to be yet, but we've got some great people that we're going to be talking to as we move into our next chapters of the THG podcast. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. Andrea, again, thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye.